onto the highway. We're gonna quickly slap into the sport mode and take off. Wow, quick little bugger. Okay, and the chrome bits going all around kind of accentuates the fender flare, making it look even. It looks like I'm driving a Range Rover if you never knew that this was a Mazda. If I take off on it, and with a full tank of gas we have 510 kilometers. So we got the works in this thing. With an inline 6, mostly me, I always end up in either 4 cylinders or V8. So having an inline 6 and getting to drive around in it is a learning process. We have tiny little paddle shifters back here as well, which are pretty tiny, so difficult to see, but they do exist. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got the key to this 2025 Mazda CX-90 with an inline 6. Ladies and gentlemen, the brief power outputs for this vehicle is going to be 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, and it is all-wheel drive. Forgive me, it's kind of windy, but come on. We have a beautiful car like this, and taking a look at our key, you see the little Monster logo in the middle. Monster, Mazda, you know how it is. But anyway, let me pop the hood real quick so you guys can see the power plant of this. It's a little bit windy, so we're gonna cut the review of the outside short, but look at this. Very neat. Super nice actually. Very flat hood, which again kind of works well for this, gives it such a nice lower profile, and the chrome bits going all around kind of accentuates the fender flare, making it look even. It looks like I'm driving a Range Rover if you never knew that this was a Mazda. If I take off the Mazda badging, you will not be able to tell what kind of car this is just from a quick glance, but it is really nice. And we have an automatic tailgate. And yes, it is a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a big 7-seater, and we have lights in the back so you don't have to work in darkness at all times. Want the extra space? You can do this, but I would recommend the third row, mostly for children, as it is kind of tight. And to be honest, we have a backup camera, and this thing, the back end has somewhat grown on me a little bit. It looked kind of weird at first. The more I look at it, the more I just kind of appreciate that, you know what, it's actually not bad. It serves its purpose well, and it's not bad at all. Again, prefer the leather all around, and all this cloth soft touch materials. This is very nice. And you can see the tiny backspace we have there. Like, you could fit somebody in there, but I wouldn't let somebody want to sit in there. Now going to the front end before it gets too damn windy. It's getting cold out here, people, so we gotta stay warm. Foot on the brake. You can see the amount of buttons we have over here just going crazy, and we can connect back to Apple CarPlay just like that. Soft touch material all around, washer fluid, and this car is brand spanking new with only 10 kilometers on it, and with a full tank of gas we have 510 kilometers. We're gonna take over a quick little drive, but show you the storage room and the build quality. Like, it's all very solid. Like, nothing is shaky or feels cheap. All of this is soft touch to the point where I'm loving it. I really am loving it. And again, it's a 7-seater, so it may be somewhat big to drive, but we can also put it into a sport mode, but we're gonna keep it in normal. We have all our traction controls and all of our sensors around us essentially. But enough yapping. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission, and we're gonna use less than half of those gears on the highway essentially. We have tiny little paddle shifters back here as well, which are pretty tiny, so difficult to see, but they do exist. We also have a bunch of safe features: lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, our adaptive cruise control. So we got the works in this thing. Though the engine may feel a little bit slow taking off sometimes, but it gets the job done, gets you from point A to point B, and the aura and the road presence this car tends to exude is honestly not bad for a 7-seater. Not many 7-seaters can do that, and if you want, you have wireless charging down here as well. Just like that. The inline six really does sound nice. This is like one of the few cars I've driven with an inline six. Mostly me, I always end up in either 4 cylinders or V8. So having an inline six and getting to drive around in it is a learning process. The different engine in it just makes it more rigorous to me, makes it more, the car feels rugged. Of course, it's a giant 7-seater, but it is also still pretty nice. And my Apple, you can see my Apple CarPlay is frozen right now. We're gonna select it one more time, pretend to go to a gas station, and we're gonna cancel that. And back. Okay, now my Apple CarPlay is back. It had frozen for a split second, but now we are good. We are good now. Onto the highway, we're gonna quickly step into the sport mode and take off. Wow, quick little bugger. Okay, not bad at all. I feel like I'm heading in the wrong direction from where I'm supposed to be going, but you know what, we vibing, we're just cruising right now. We're gonna quickly try our adaptive cruise control, turn that on, set the pace to max, and set at 111 kilometers an hour. I'll lane keep assistance on as well, and I want to keep my hands close enough to the steering wheel. But as I appreciate more of the steering wheel, you can see the stitching going around this thing adds to the extra layer of quality, and all of this is just fine. The build quality of this thing is fantastic. It's beautiful. Put back our wireless charging right there, as it should be. But we are currently slowing down by ourselves as well. Like, it is nice, it's simple. And if you really want to be stupid, you really can't, because you don't have a manual mode in this car. But if you really want to do something, let's say spirited driving, you can downshift. The power delivery is very smooth. And again, this car doesn't shy away from being spirited driving-esque-ish. It doesn't shy away from that. But a Suburban, we can kind of compete with a Suburban, but I feel like it is bigger. This back row, like I said, meant for kids, not really meant for adults. Look at this. Very nice cruising. But again, this car doesn't shy away from spirited driving. The only problem is that the engine takes a split second to realize we're trying to get up and go. But on highway driving like this, you barely use any gas. Right now, our average, you can see our average dropping 13.4. Our average is just constantly dropping. And we've put 6 kilometers on this car so far. We got it at 10 kilometers, we're now at 16 kilometers. This thing is basically fresh off the boat. We basically just peeled off the stickers off of this thing and put it on the road basically. The speakers in this thing are also pretty good as well, and we have a tiny little sunroof up here, letting in a little bit of extra sunlight. But when turning this thing, sometimes you feel a little bit of body roll. It's effortless to turn it, yes, it's simple. And if you like inline sixes, like what BMW makes, Mazda may be a more slightly reliable option, just because you get a little bit more reliability with the Japanese. They focus on reliability more than performance, compared to the BMWs at least. I really don't want to try and figure out how well my lane keep assist is half the time, but it's still pretty brand new, so we're not gonna try and go crazy. We're gonna let it have a break-in period. But right now, we are just cruising and enjoying the drive. And to be honest, I'm loving this car. It is simple, easy to get used to, very straightforward. Like, nothing about this car is confusing. All your climate controls are down here, and we have a very quick responsive Apple CarPlay system. Like, look at how quick this little baby is. And let's say you want to go back to your Mazda screens, click Mazda and you're back, and you don't even have to touch. Of course, I'm pretty sure this is touchscreen as well. Oh no, it's not. which makes sense. You really don't want to be reaching up to grab this. And all of this can be done with the little controls down here, which is pretty neat. But overall, guys, I'll give this car a solid 10 out of 10. For a decently sized family with kids in the back, it's not bad at all. Really isn't bad. And the noise insulation, listen to it. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. But anyway, guys, this has been Morty in the 2025. Oh no, let me downshift before we call this video quits. One more gear? Nah. 2025 Mazda CX-90. Take care, guys, and peace.